The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Hi everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the SCU Show. I'm your host, SCU. Second week in a row, we're doing the show. I'm out of my funk that I was in for quite a while during the show. The first month and a half of the 2018, I was like, wow, why am I doing a show? I have a reason why I wasn't doing a show, but there are other reasons I wasn't doing a show, and it wasn't good. I should have been doing shows. I could have been doing shows, but I just wasn't. But now this is the second week in a row doing a show, and it feels good. I'm fired up for this show today. It's just going to be, it might be short. It'll be longer than the last week, I can tell you that. Probably longer than last week because I have more to go off of. But I'm very pumped for this show. I'm very excited for this show. I want to start with some breaking news. It came out earlier today. Marcus Peters will be traded to the Los Angeles Rams, Chiefs cornerback. I said last week, and I'm going to go back to last week going into this point. Last week I said the Rams would play the Saints in the NFC title game. If you listen to last week's show, you listen to my top 10 NFL predictions, I said Rams-Saints NFC title game. This trade just makes that whole thing much more likely than it was before this trade happened. Because before the trade, they were expected to let Trumaine Johnson hit free agent market. They weren't going to re-sign him. And there'll be a lot of questions for the Rams on their defense, especially in the secondary, because clearly cornerback is one of their biggest issues on defense. And then they go ahead and they get the best cornerback in the league. The guy has 19 picks in 45 career games. I can't even tell you how many pick six. Probably half of that is pick sixes. It's outstanding. It's incredible. And then the Rams just got, like I said, Tremaine's going to hit the free agent market, but they just upgraded. The Rams upgraded from Trumaine Johnson. They got the best guy in Marcus Peters. But so you're asking yourself, you're listening to this now, you're listening to me say that this helps the Rams much more likely. How? How does this help the Rams? Well, this definitely tells me the Rams are going to win the NFC West next year. I can't deny, there's no denying that now. I have the Rams repeating as NFC West champions next season, as of right now. And here's why. We're gonna go over each team in the NFC West, starting with San Francisco. Everybody loves Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh my God, Jimmy Garoppolo's undefeated in the NFL. Oh, he's definitely a good quarterback. He has no losses. Let's pay him $137 million. He's played 7 games. 7 games, and you're giving him the biggest contract in league history. Not to mention half of those games, if not more than half of those games, were won by the defense. That game in week 2 against Miami, defense. This year against Jacksonville, definitely defense. Blake Bortles threw 5 picks, and they almost lost that game. Several games. I definitely remember a few other games where the defense won in that game, not Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo's good. He played well. That's awesome. He also played under Bill Belichick and Kyle Shanahan, who helped Matt Ryan win the MVP 2 years ago. I think everybody's overhyping the San Francisco 49ers, and I'm not hating on them. I'm not saying they're not going to do bad. This could be an 8-18, 9-7 team. But everyone's saying that they're going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. That's nuts. That is just absolutely insane. I don't know where this is coming from. Because Jimmy Garoppolo's your quarterback, he won 7 games, and that's it? You're going to give him the Super Bowl now? Yeah, give me a break, people. They have no defense, first of all. I can't name a guy on their defense. Like, literally, and figuratively, their defense is bad. Reuben Foster's been arrested twice since being drafted. That's disgusting. For a franchise that's nasty, it's bad. You don't like to see that if you're an owner. You don't like to see it if you're a coach. You don't like to see it if you're a GM. You don't want to see your guys getting arrested. Especially twice in the... He's been there, less than a year. Since you've been drafted. You've been arrested twice. And you know who I'm talking about. Especially 49ers fans, you know who I'm talking about. They want to get rid of Carlos Hyde. Best running back that had since Frank Gore left. I mean, Gore's been gone a while. He went to... he didn't go to Philadelphia, but he went to Indianapolis. He's been there for a couple of years. And then Carlos Hyde comes in. He's pretty much almost the same as Frank Gore. Just he does almost as well as Frank Gore. And you want to let him go. So the Niners are... I mean, while Jimmy Garoppolo's a good quarterback, he's definitely an upgrade from Brian Hoyer. So $137 million is way too much for a guy that's played 7 games. Far too much. I don't understand that. They don't have much receivers either. Okay, you can say, "Oh, Pierre Garçon." Okay, fine. He's okay. He's not going to win your football games. It's a bit of a stretch to say that. Oh, Pierre Garçon, great receiver. No, he's good. That's great, awesome. He's not going to win your football games. So that takes San Francisco out of it. I say 9-7, 8-8. They won't finish last, but I'll get to that in a second. Who will finish last? And then the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, Russell Wilson and Richard Sherman. You realize this team has been on the decline since that Super Bowl loss to the Patriots. Oh, they've had 2 losses now in the playoffs. They've lost more times at home the last 3 years than they have prior 6-7 years before that. Russell Wilson came into the league. He shined. I'm a huge fan of Russell Wilson. I love Russell Wilson. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. There's no disputing that. But the last couple of years, the Seahawks have lost more home games in the last 2 years than the previous 5 combined. And then you look at what they're doing on defense and what they're doing with their defense, what they plan to do. They want to release some guys like Richie. They want to get rid of Sherman. They want to look to trade him, release him, whatever it might be. They also want to look to trade or release Earl Thomas III. Great guy. Jeremy Lin's career is over because I believe he had a neck injury against Indianapolis. I believe he suffered. Pretty sure it was Jeremy Lin. It might have been somebody else. I'm not sure. So you have that. They want to get rid of him. And then you have all these guys. The defense is... They want to get rid of their defense. This defense was once known as the Legion of Boom. This is the defense that led the Seahawks to Super Bowls 2 years in a row. 2 Super Bowls in a row. And we're 1 yard short of a repeat. That's all Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, by the way. It's not on the defense. That defense won the Super Bowl 48 against Denver. I mean, obviously, they killed Denver in that Super Bowl. That was all defense. I mean, a defensive guy won MVP. When was the last time that happened? It's been a while, if it's ever happened. They're not a dumpster fire. They're on the downfall. That's all it is. They're going to be successful next 5 or 6 years till Russell Wilson retires. Perhaps winning 2 or 3 more division titles. But this team isn't beating the Rams. I mean, they've struggled the Rams have been in LA for 2 years now. They've struggled both times they visit Los Angeles. I believe they've lost last year in LA, I believe. And then you go, so there's Seattle. Arizona, come on. This is the oldest franchise in the NFL. They've always have been irrelevant. Okay, they went to Super Bowl 43 in 2008. They lost to the storied franchise Steelers. That's the highlight of their franchise right there. I'm not bashing Arizona or the Cardinals, whatever. But this year, I'm looking at 2018. I'm looking at I'm looking at the next couple of years for Arizona. They don't have a quarterback, and there is about a 50-50 chance they draft one in the NFL in the draft this April, and he starts. When I was doing shows last year, I said, I would love to see him go. I'd love to see Arizona go Baker Mayfield. I think they have the 12th overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals or something. I said, let's give him Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield wouldn't start. They would probably look at... I don't know who the coach is anymore, because it's not Bruce Arians. He stepped down. Arizona would look at Drew Stanton and be like, okay, this guy has started way more than Baker Mayfield. He has way more experience than Baker Mayfield. Way more mature than Baker Mayfield. So we're going to start this guy. And they know going into 2018, starting George Stanton is not it's not a smart move. They know this. And they're going to do it anyway, most likely. And that right there puts the Rams back at the not the Rams, I'm sorry. They put the Arizona Cardinals back at the bottom of the NFC West. Because San Francisco is going to be better than them. Seattle's going to be better than them. They're going to win both games on the road and at home against Arizona. The Rams are going to beat the Cardinals no problem either. And then they won it last few times in Arizona. But made a bit close games, but they won. They pulled it up several times in Arizona. I see them doing it again this year. And then you look at the Rams. Jared Goff went from the most overrated quarterback I've ever seen drafted first overall since Ryan Leaf to a guy I can believe in now. All because they got rid of Jeff Fisher and put in Sean McVay. Sean McVay turned that franchise around. I love what Sean McVay has done. I love it. He is the reason Jared Goff is so talented. And that the Gurley is a natural talent himself. He's rushed for over 2,000 yards. He's going to probably get... he's not going to eclipse that next year. But he'll come close, so he'll definitely get over 1,500 by next season. I tell you that right now. He'll go over 1,500 next season. And plus you have Sammy Watkins, you just got Marcus Peters, Aaron Donald's on your defensive line. And who knows what they can get in the draft. A wide receiver, another cornerback, something. I was actually looking at an article before the show from the LA Times. They had looked at a bunch of different guys' mock drafts. Several guys I've seen. Good guy from SB Nation. They have Mel Kiper on there. They had Josh Jackson, his name is. I have it right here. Josh Jackson going. The Rams have the 23rd pick. They have Josh Jackson, cornerback from Iowa, going to the Rams at 23. The guy led the nation with 8 picks in 2017. 3 of those picks off of J.T. Barrett, one of the best quarterbacks in college football. That's almost half his picks off of J.T. Barrett. That is impressive. So just imagine Josh Jackson teaming up with Marcus Peters. Wow, we've seen some great quarterback tandems in the NFL. This would be another one. Of course, that was the mock draft 1.0 or 2.0 for Mel Kiper and all these other guys. So we got a while till the NFL draft. Another couple of months. Things can change, but as of right now, that would be a nice quarterback tandem in LA. So there you have it. I mean, would be a great. It's going to be a really good Rams team, regardless. This team's going to be very talented. They're going to win the NFC West. They are stacked. Absolutely stacked. But, as I said last week, New Orleans over the Rams in the NFC title game. The Saints have a better quarterback. They have the better coach by... not by much, but they do have a better coach than Sean Payton. Nothing against Sean McVay. Great coach. Such a great coach. They have 2 running backs that can rush for over 1,000 yards compared to 1 that could rush for 1,500. And their defense is so much better than the Rams. I mean, that whole defensive line, the whole secondary, everything about the Saints' defense is just dominant. I'm not bashing the Rams' defense. They've improved with Marcus Peters. They do have Aaron Donald. It's going to be good, but it's not going to be enough to beat the Saints. So there's that. So I'm gonna switch over to the NBA now. I'm gonna go to the NBA. I've been saying this since before the season began. I've been saying it all last summer. I said it. After last year's finals, I said it. Definitely after the free agency, I definitely said it because things blew up in free agency once more this year in the NBA. Golden State will beat Cleveland in the finals once more. I said it last year. I said the Warriors would win in 4. We are now halfway through the season, and you better believe I am more right than I was then. I am absolutely more right than I was then, because look what the Cavs have. A bunch of, like Colin Cowherd says, a bunch of C guys. The Golden State Warriors are the Golden State Warriors. I mean, look at them. They have Kevin Durant, one of the best players in the NBA. Steph Curry still shooting threes off his left foot. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, still shining, still doing their thing, like they've been doing the past 4 years. But not nice, and like I said, Warriors in 4. But this is so much different now. Everything is just so much different now. Not only will the Warriors win in 4, not only will they sweep the Cavs, they will, and I got to put emphasis on this, they will dominate the Cavaliers in the finals this year. It is going to be a dominant performance. And let me say it again. It will be a dominant performance by the Warriors in the finals this year. Dominant. And I'm not saying LeBron James will shut down, but look at his team. Let's look back. Before I even look at this year's team, I'll look back the last couple of years when they lost in 6 to the Warriors. When they beat the Warriors in 7 after overcoming the 3-1 deficit, in which the Warriors had a chance to close it out with Game 5 in Oakland. They had stars on those teams. Those teams had stars. Kyrie. Kevin Love was in his prime. Iman Shumpert was good. J.R. Smith did something. That team right there beat the Warriors, the 73-9 Warriors. Now last year, it's all Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant lit up the Cavs as they went on to win in 5, and he won MVP, undisputed unanimously. He won MVP last season in the NBA Finals. Now look at you. Now look at Cleveland. There's one star in that team, and his name is LeBron James. You think? Do you really think that Larry Nance Jr., Jordan Clarkson, George Hill, who were on the bench on a crappy Kings team, are going to be any type of competition against the Warriors in the finals? There is no way. There is just no way. I honestly think that the Warriors will win. I'm going to say right now, the Warriors win Game 1 and Game 2 by 20 points or more. It is going to be that dominant. They'll win Game 3, 10 points, 15 points or more. And they're going to close it out with a 30-plus point win in Game 4. Like, it is going to be ugly when the Warriors and Cavs meet in the finals this year. Lord, it is going to be ugly. Hell, I would have said, if Gordon Hayward had not get injured opening night, if he was still healthy today, I would have sit here right now and say Boston would have beat Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals. No doubt, 100%. Boston wins the East. But Gordon Hayward is not healthy, and Kyrie Irving cannot beat the Cavs by himself. So I can't sit here and say that the Celtics will beat the Cavs, because they won't. It's going to be a 6-game series at best when it comes to the Celtics and Cavs this year. But they are not going to beat the Cavs. The Cavs will run to the East again one last time, en route to another finals, and get demolished, destroyed, clobbered. Gosh, the words I could say. They're not going to win. That is straight up. They will not win a game this year in the finals. It is going to be so ugly. Ratings are going to drop. People are going to look at this game before the series even starts. They're going to look what the Cavs have, and they're going to look at what the Warriors have compared to the Cavs, and they're going to say, "Oh my God, I don't want to watch this. No, thank you. I'm good." And ratings will drop. And TV stations like, I think ABC has these games actually. ABC broadcasts the NBA Finals. They're not much of a sports thing anyway. They haven't been since the NFL stopped showing games in, what was it, 2006? 2006. Their last NFL game was Super Bowl 40 until this year's Pro Bowl, I believe. So ABC losing ratings for the NBA Finals, it's not going to hurt them. It's going to hurt ESPN more because it's ESPN on ABC. But it's just going to be that bad. Like, people are going to turn these games off when it comes to the finals. Ugly. Nobody's going to want to watch. So when it's all said and done, the Cavs will be blown out. They'll lose the finals again. LeBron's going to walk out of the article. It reminds me of what happened in 2010. He took off his jersey and they had lost, and he took off his jersey. And a month later, he was with the Miami Heat. It's going to happen again this time. He's going to lose to the Warriors in Game 4 in Cleveland. He's going to take off his jersey, walking out of there. And that's going to be it. That's going to be the end of him in Cleveland. Like, that is not... He is going to... Of course, he's going to spend time with his family. He's going to think it over. But he pretty much already knows what he's doing. At this point, he knows what he's doing. He knows his plan. He's ready to go. But for right now, he's focused on what needs to be focused on now, and that is his team that he has now. Get to the finals, get it over with, and then head over to West Coast, whether it be the Warriors or the Lakers. Everybody knows at this point it's going to be the Warriors or Lakers LeBron plays with next season. Just don't know which one. Because he could play with KD, Steph, Draymond, Clay. Or he could build a team with Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, LeBronzo, as everybody likes to call it, because that's the big thing now. Kyle Kuzma, their rookie, looks pretty good. They have a couple guys on their bench that look pretty good. So he could build a team and compete with the Warriors and make a new franchise that is the best in the NBA. Either way, it's going to happen. One of the two. But no matter what he chooses, once LeBron is out of Cleveland, and this sounds nuts and might sound crazy, there will be 6 teams in the NBA next year. 6 teams that will compete for the West, for the NBA Finals. Like, there are 6 teams eligible for the Finals at this time. By this time next year, 6, 3 in the East and 3 in the West, and 2 in the East are just oh, you're crazy, SCU. Yeah, I might be not saying this, but let's go with it right now. 6 teams. Let's go. Number 6. The Philadelphia 76ers. Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, my God. The Sixers are bad. They're terrible. What do you mean? What's wrong with you? Nobody wants to believe in the process. Oh, it's been 5 years, 6 years. How long has it been since the Sixers have been rebuilding? Rome wasn't built in a day, people. Okay? The Sixers rebuild is slow. Yes, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the slow rebuild. But it's working. It is working for the Sixers. Embiid and Simmons. If I knew them personally or whatever, I would say, hey guys, you two get together this summer, have a barbecue, have a couple, go to amusement park in Philadelphia. I don't even know what's in Philadelphia. I've been there once and it was boring as hell. But go to amusement park, hang out, shoot hoops, practice your passing, practice your defense, practice everything. Get your rookie in there, Markelle Fultz, I think his name is. I'm pretty sure it's Markelle Fultz. That's the rookie of the Sixers. You 3 get together, practice your shooting, practice your defense, practice your passing. Just practice everything you can. And you will be a top 3, 4, 5 seed in the NBA, in the Eastern Conference, pardon me, next season. I could see it happening. I really could. Number 5, another one you guys have mocked me for, especially the guys that I used to work with. Miami. The Heat they started 11-30 last year. By January, they were 11-30. They finished 9th place, 1 game out from the playoff race in the East. This year, okay, they don't look too good. I'm not sure what's going on with them. I pay much attention. But next season, they got Wade back now, so they're going to get better and better and better. See who they draft in the NBA draft this June. And I see the Heat making a move. I see them figuring out what's wrong, what the problem is, and resolving that problem to make themselves look better. That's what I see. I see the Heat making it happen. They figure out their problems, they resolve their problems, and like the Sixers, they get together during the offseason, they practice shooting, all this other stuff, and they just make it work. They're going to make it happen, and it's going to be nice. It's going to be it's going to look real good. And the unanimous Eastern Conference champion for the next 5 years, Boston. Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward, maybe Al Horford will come back from the dead. Jason Tatum is a stud. I haven't watched much Celtics basketball, but I've kept my eyes on things. And Jason Tatum is lighting it up in Boston with Kyrie Irving. That team won, 15 games in a row earlier this season? That was without Gordon Hayward. Imagine Gordon Hayward was there. They would have won 30 games in a row. They would have set the NBA record. And that's probably a little exaggeration as well. They probably wouldn't have won 30 games in a row. But you get what I'm coming. You get what I'm getting at. The big three in Boston. That's the next big three. It's going to be one of the best big threes in the NBA come next year. It's going to be so much fun to watch. I think my plan is to go to Boston, move to Boston in 2021 to pursue my master's in communications or whatever, broadcast journalism. And I get to go watch the Celtics all the time. I can go to TD Garden. I get to watch Kyrie light it up. I get to watch Al Horford light it up. I can watch Jason Tatum light it up. And who else? Who knows? Who else will wind up on the Celtics in the next couple of years, 4 or 5 years? I can't wait for that. It's going to be so much fun. Got 2 years in Boston. I get the Patriots, Tom Brady. I get Kyrie. The Red Sox doing something good. Oh, Lordy. I can't wait to move to Boston. But that's another story for another time. So those are the 3 teams in the East. The 3 teams in the West. First one's the Houston Rockets. They continue to do well. James Harden and Chris Paul. I saw a stat on Instagram. They had, I think it was Chris Broussard shared this. When they're on the floor together, James Harden and Chris Paul, they have won 28 of their last 29 games, or had been. It was like a few days ago, maybe a week ago. That was their stat. They had won 28 of 29 when Harden and Chris were on the floor together. That is remarkable. They were 28-1 in the last 29 with them two together. Not only that, but James Harden is one of the best players in the NBA. He's been up for MVP consideration multiple times. He just lost to KD and Westbrook, and I believe KD will probably win again this year. But next year, forget it. Harden is going to blow up next year. Absolutely blow up next year. He's going to win MVP. Rockets, and this is bold, but I do believe this happens. The Rockets will win 60 to 65 games next year with Harden, Paul, and who else? Who knows who else they pick up free agency? Because there are a lot of free agents out there this summer. Wow. Like, if you saw the list of free agents out there, you would be like, whoa. What can the Rockets do? Let's see. So, there's the Rockets. The Warriors are the Warriors. Do I even have to go there? Like, if you watch the NBA, you know the Warriors will clearly be a team to talk about when it comes to the finals. Even around Halloween. It's right after the season begins. Everyone's going to say, oh, the Warriors this, Warriors that. Especially if LeBron goes to Golden State. God have mercy. All you hear everywhere for the next 6 months is Warriors win the finals. Why are we playing a season? And they'll be right. Warriors Rockets will be a great West Conference Finals next year, but Warriors will overcome. Clearly. Clearly they will. Now, let's say LeBron, and I'm big on this. I'm big on LeBron going to the Lakers this offseason. I'm huge on it. And I talked about this earlier. Brandon Ingram, LeBron can help him. Kyle Kuzma's impressive. A couple other guys to the bench. All that. I said this earlier. If LeBron James winds up going to the Warriors, if he goes to the Lakers, like I predict he will, next year, I can't wait to be in Oakland. Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. That is going to be so much fun. That's going to be amazing. Watching LeBron James and the Lakers, a young Laker team, with LeBron James going up against the superstar team of that is the Golden State Warriors in a Game 7, the NBA Finals. Who wouldn't want to watch that? Who would not want to watch that? You can't listen to this and say, "Oh, this guy's nuts." Why would he want to see that? Everybody wants to see that. So my 6 teams eligible for the NBA Finals next year. Should LeBron go to the Lakers? The Lakers, the Warriors, the Rockets, the Celtics, the Heat, and the Sixers. You might think I'm crazy, but that's how it is. That is also how we end this episode of the SCU Show. I'm so fired up. I'm your host, SCU. I got a couple things going on this weekend. Next weekend, I'm covering the Atlantic 10 Women's Basketball Tournament in Richmond. Very fun. The weekend for that, heading up to Virginia Beach with my friends. A week later, I'm starting my reporting with the Richmond Rough Riders. Blessings on blessings on blessings, everybody. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank the WTM Network for hosting this podcast, along with our the founder of that WTM Network and former producer Sean Garmer. I want to thank him for allowing this podcast on his network. And I want to, again, thank you for listening. This has been the SCU Show.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.